Hi there, this is our week 3 help video for Spanish 101. And what I wanted to talk about today are some of the resources available in the course just to help you out throughout the semester. Hopefully you've started to kind of get the workflow down, figured out Blackboard in my Spanish lab. I've been really impressed with the work that's coming in, the compositions I'm working on grading right now, and they've been really awesome. So I want to congratulate you as a class overall, and I should be finished grading those compositions today or tomorrow sometime. So you can work on getting the revisions done and submitted next week. That submission is due in week 4. So, but what I wanted to talk about is the resources, primarily the resources that are here in course documents. So we're right here on the main landing page in Blackboard with the announcements. So hopefully you have been remembering to check the announcements every week and start with the Blackboard when you're studying for the class. Where you probably spent most of your time is in the assignments folder, where I walk you through the content for each week and have additional videos linked and the tutorials and all of that linked. So hopefully you're taking the time to do that before you move over into my Spanish lab to complete the practice activities. So what I want to talk about right now is the course documents area. So these are resources that aren't necessarily pertinent just to one week, but that might be useful to you throughout the semester. So I have them in their own separate area so they're easy to access. The first thing is the My Spanish Lab registration instructions, and I think everybody's set up there, so no need to talk about that. The next item here are verb conjugation charts, and this is something that we haven't really gotten into a whole lot yet. We've started just this week, or in chapter 1, I mean, with the verb ser and the conjugations for that, the yo soy, tú eres, etc. But these, as we get into more and more verbs, every chapter you'll be learning new verbs and the conjugations for those verbs. So this is a document that you can print or that you can save to your computer, and you can either type in it or you can print it out and fill it out. And I'll probably, as we start getting into more verb conjugations, I'll probably do another video walking you through the way it's organized and why it's organized that way. But for now, I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that it's there, and I do have an example document that's already filled in with an example of the 3 regular kinds of Spanish verbs, the AR, ER, and IR verbs. So keep that in mind, that that's there as you start learning more verb conjugations. If you wanted to, you could go ahead and print out a copy now and fill it out with the verb ser, just to have that available to you as a reference. And then the next item is a list of regular Spanish verbs. So it's hundreds of Spanish verbs, AR, ER, and IR verbs, so all 3 of those main classes of verbs that all follow the conjugation pattern that you're going to learn in chapter 2. So really what it's there for is to encourage you, as you spend the time learning those verb conjugations, that time you spend on memorizing those patterns are going to be really valuable to you, because there are hundreds of verbs that follow that pattern. The next is stem changing verbs. We won't get into that until later in the semester, so just a reminder that that's there, and when we get to it, you may find that chart to be helpful. Then the discussion board rubric. So this is the rubric that I use to grade all of those culture discussion boards. The first one is you're working on this week, and then every 3rd week. So weeks 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15, you'll have a discussion board, and it'll be the same rubric every time. The live chat rubric, I have not yet graded the live chat that was due at the end of week 2. That's on my list for today and tomorrow as well. So when I do grade it, though, this first one I pretty much just grade as a completion grade. So as long as you got in and participated in the live chat with a classmate or 2, then you will earn full credit for this first one. But for future live chats for weeks 5, 8, 11, and 14, this is the rubric that I will use. So I'll be looking for your response to the prompt, the grammar and vocabulary that you use, your pronunciation, and your interaction. And with the pronunciation, just to kind of set your mind at ease, it's what I'm looking for is an effort to imitate native pronunciation. So I know that it's still a work in progress, and so don't stress too much. Excuse me. Don't stress too much about that pronunciation. But be aware of it and be paying attention to it and practicing it. And then next I have some flashcards. So if you can either download the Quizlet app to your phone or mobile device, or you can use the Quizlet website. And there are flashcards for each of the 5 chapters of vocabulary that we'll be going through this semester. And then there are QR codes. If you like to use the QR scanner on your phone, you can access them that way as well. And this final document is one that many of you need this week. So there were quite a few people who didn't know how to type the Spanish characters. And you could always Google it as well if that's quicker and easier for you, and find instructions for your particular operating system. But there are shortcuts that you can use. So these are the shortcuts in Microsoft Word. And then there are some down here that are more general shortcuts that you can use in other places as well if you're not in Microsoft Word. And there's a website that I have listed here too where you can type into a text box and then insert Spanish characters easily there. So just some different options for you depending on what you prefer. I do most of my typing in Word and use the control shortcuts. And then I've also installed the Spanish keyboard on my computer. That's probably not your best solution for right now, where the majority of your typing is not in Spanish. Enough of my typing is in Spanish that it's worth it to me to have that Spanish keyboard to easily switch to. If you are interested in doing that and installing the Spanish keyboard, let me know and I can give you the instructions. I can link you to instructions for that. But in the meantime, one of these solutions will probably suit your needs. And of course, when you're working in my Spanish lab, it has that bar across the top that has the special characters. So just remember, though, that any of your assignments that you submit, you want to be using these Spanish characters whenever possible. So I hope that's helpful. Those are the main resources I wanted to talk about today. Oh, one last thing is just a quick reminder about my office hours. So when you click on this button here in the left-hand margin, that will take you directly to that'll launch the Zoom window and take you to my Zoom office. I am there in holding online office hours Monday evening 8 to 9, Wednesday afternoon 2 to 4, and Friday mornings 9 to 11. If you show up and I'm not there, shoot me a quick email. Occasionally I'm in another window grading and it'll boot me out after 45 minutes or so of no activity. So if nobody has shown up for a while, then sometimes it'll boot me out. So if you show up and I'm not there, send me a quick email so that I know that happened and can get back online. But otherwise, I would love to visit with you during those hours or at another time. If those don't work for your schedule, let me know and we can always schedule a meeting some other time. So I need to go find out what has my dogs making so much noise, and I will see you all online.